Okay, I should have balanced levels before we got into this.
Oh, they can hear you.
They
Oh,
can hear me.
okay. Audio, good. We are live.
Okay.
Let's rock and roll.
All right, let's do it. It sounds like you're just a little bit louder than me, but I'm gonna just go with that. All right, guys. After many technical difficulties,
yes,
we
I'm
have
much louder than you, but
we have figured out how to get this. I'm gonna try to get it dialed in as we go. But we're live after the Marvel Crisis Protocol miniatures. Well, I don't know. What do you call this? Keynote, I guess.
Yeah, Adepticon did a big keynote.
Okay. We're just going to kind of go through it and do our reactions. We're likely to be very wrong here, even more than normal, because takes don't get much hotter than this. All right. So we started off with there's a new organized play kit coming. The cards are going to be acrylic, is what they said.
So I believe that there are foil cards, and then the champion card that's a one of in the box will be acrylic.
Okay. Do we know if this champion card is like a character card, or is it a acrylic thing that says champion?
No, it's a so Carl found a store listing for the MCP Store League kit, and I'm just going to read this. So it has 16 alt art magnetic crush team tactics cards, 16 foil Xavier's Dream tactics cards, 16 alt to me my X-Men cards, 12 foil Cerebro team tactics cards, 4 foil and gold stamped Cerebro team tactics cards, 1 champion acrylic 4x6 Cyclops stat card.
Ew, it's gonna be Cyclops?
Yeah, I'm very excited.
Maximum yuck. And
have to pay Eric so much money to get one.
They're giving us alters of Dream, so they're probably not banning that card like they're supposed to.
Correct. It's great.
Oh, damn it. Yeah, okay. I think this is overall cool. New Kingpin art's neat. Kingpin's not changing, though. I think the new art... Actually, I think this is probably some of the weakest of their new art, of their redos.
It's, like, fine. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think that more speaks to how good their new art has been.
Yeah, totally.
But Kingpin was on the weaker side. I can't wait to see the other side of the card as well.
I do think he's one of the best looking in this set of 5 here, though. It's like him and Maximus, I think, are the best, too.
Yeah, I mean, Bolt's fine, too.
Eh.
He's just really Nova this week.
He's definitely the worst one, yes.
And also, even though we're complaining about it, he's well above acceptable.
Yeah, 1,000,000%.
We should mention that we're with live streaming now, just like at LVO. There are memberships you can buy. You can give us money, right, and help finance my growing MCP travel habit of going to events and streaming them, like Squad Goals, which is coming up. Everybody should go to Squad Goals. Man, if we had really had our act together, I could have run the ad right now while we tried to figure everything out and just looped that, and that could have been my desire to get out of the challenge problem.
Well, that would show that we know what we're doing and have a plan, which we definitely don't. So
yeah, absolutely. Also, like, it's my YouTube channel, and you're the one that knows how to do streaming, and we didn't like get together for this.
Nah, that's fine. It's going great.
I'm sure it'll be fine. All right. I guess we'll just go to the next slide then.
Yeah.
So give us money, come to Squad Goals. May 3rd and 4th in Niles. Have friends.
SquadGoalsMCP.com.
Oh, did you know that the War of Kings pack is a thing? Oh my God, guys. Oh, gee golly willikers, man, who could have seen this coming?
Yep.
Yeah, cool. Crisis pack is cool. It's been good. We have a bunch of videos and a podcast about it. Moving on. I think the repacks are kind of interesting. So later they'll announce that like repacks are going to be tied to like the revisiting of characters, it seems like, and whether or not that's going to be a big drop in May, like they said, or if it's going to slowly roll out with each of these characters.
No, so what they said is that when they're putting together these repacks, they use that as an opportunity to look at all the character cards and see, do they fit into the balance of the game? Are they good for the modern meta? And then in May, we're going to get a print to play PDF that's a collection of a big wave of characters in these repacks who got touched. Right. So I think this implies they think everyone, like these 3 boxes, we've seen the cards from. And so I'm guessing everyone in here they think is balanced or balanced enough for the modern meta, and that like Drax and Ronin aren't going to get changes, even though they might have been on some people's lists. Right. And so in the other repacks, I think like the next slide has some more repacks, and then like the starter kits, right? There's like an X-Men starter kit in about 2 slides. The Gambit that we saw from the prize wall with his buffs came because of that starter repack, but we're going to get that in the May PDF, even though that X-Men starter doesn't come out until like Q3 or Q4.
Oh, it looks like we're getting new art for all of them too. I missed this. For all the criminals. New Parker Rollins, new Hood, new
look at that.
New MODOK, new Bullseye. This Bullseye really looks like Steve, like First Avenger Steve.
He really does.
Picture.
So I think these repacks are cool. I think it does make the game cheaper, which I think is nice. It's not like a huge cost savings, but it's definitely something. And I think it's nice for stores to reduce SKU bloat. And I think just like the general pipeline of here's a new box. Eventually it'll kind of fade away and be in this cheaper repack to get if you're getting to the game late, I think is cool.
Yeah, I agree. And especially with the price reduction that comes with the 4-packs, because what the 4-packs are usually $60.
Something like that, yeah.
And the 2-packs are usually $40.
Yes.
So, I mean, there's significant savings.
Yeah, I mean, the starters, when we get to those, they're like insanely cheap. Holy shit.
Overall, I think it's pretty cool. You were telling me that the reason that this Galaxy's Deadliest is a character pack is because it doesn't have a leader in it.
So that at least the pattern so far, is that the affiliation packs have a leader and a character pack does not have anyone with a leadership.
Nope. Look at that. There's no leadership here. Affiliation pack. Warriors of Asgard. Boom. Roasted.
They're gonna errata it.
Oh yeah. Give it. Hell yeah. Confirmed. Best detective work ever.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know why it's a character pack then. That was my one guess.
Yeah. I don't know. I am also looking forward to, as Frelinger said here, that we're not going to have vertical cards anymore.
Yes.
I don't really care vertical cards, horizontal cards. I think I actually preferred vertical cards because they fit in videos better.
I also preferred vertical cards, but I'll make peace with it. I'd if I at least get them all one way.
Yeah, that's what I want now. I want them all to be one way. I don't really care after that.
Yep.
All right. Cool. I think it's interesting that Black Cat. Actually, I don't think that's right. The Black Cat's in the Web Warriors one and not in the Criminals one. It's fine.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Otherwise,
there's just less choices to put in a Webs one.
Yeah. All right. The starter packs, I was originally kind of eye rolling at the 10 character inclusion. But them being $90 is incredible. If this has sticks and dice in it,
it does,
which is my understanding of what the pack is.
Yes.
Right. Having a 10-man roster for $90, like everything you need, like you can buy it, build it, and then show up at your local event. Like buy it and build it. Yeah. Buy it on Monday, build it over the week, show up to the event on Saturday. For $90 is going to make pitching this game so much easier to new players.
Yeah, it's a insane value, right? And that's kind of what you just said is very similar to what Chick said they wanted. Is just like these are for people who like, their store has a scene, right? Because they don't have terrain, and that's the only thing these are missing from the core box is terrain. And he kind of pitched it as like, yeah, but if you have a scene, your store has terrain, there's people playing, you want to join, you just grab one of these, put it together, show up, and you're ready to go, right? It has dice, has tokens, it has power tokens, health tokens.
Power tokens? Okay.
Yes. It has all the tokens you need, all the dice you need, all the measuring sticks you need, and the 10 characters for $90. It's so cool.
Yeah. And I think that, so X-Men is a no-brainer pick, I think. Are these X-Men?
Mostly. They've all been X-Men at some point.
Sabretooth?
I guess not, but
Toad?
Toad has.
Okay. All right. But yeah, overall, I think so. I think the X-Men starter box that everybody knew was coming when X-Men were announced, and we all were wondering about what 10 would be in the X-Men starter box.
Yeah.
Boom, we know now, guys. We just had to wait a little bit longer than planned. X-Men starter box confirmed. I think Foes is an interesting second choice.
Yeah, so one of the things they did say is that like the X-Men starter pack is going to be evergreen and kind of always in print, whereas other ones like the Spider Foes might be kind of more temporary, where it's, you know, they do a print run or two of it, it's on shelves for a while, but it eventually kind of falls off and then they put out other ones. I think they mentioned like Asgard or Guardians as other examples of starters they might do. So it doesn't sound like every starter is going to be perpetually in print, but like X-Men will be.
Yeah, I thought it was also really interesting to pick something that's already been compiled into smaller boxes.
Mm-hmm.
Right, because there already is the Spider Foes affiliation box.
I mean, there's already X-Men affiliation boxes.
Yeah. So this is literally just a repack. It's not like a resprue or anything like that. It's just
Yeah, well, I think one of the reasons it makes sense to do a repack of a repack is because they don't want someone who just doesn't have a Rhino to have to go buy this to get the Rhino, right?
sense,
Like,
yeah.
there's going to be those smaller 4-packs as a way for established players to buy stuff they missed and not have to go buy a starter pack to get one of the characters they missed.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah.
And I also don't think Rhino has fallen into the repack zone yet.
No, but I know some people have had a little trouble finding him, so he's like starting to. I guess we should see. They posted a big timeline of everyone who's getting repacked.
Yeah, we'll get to that at the end. That's late. Or do you want me to skip all the way to the end and talk?
No,
about
no. But I was just gonna pull it up in the background to see if Rhino's on there anywhere.
All right, we're gonna do Phoenix last because
yes.
I have other slides later for it. But we
got somebody found a copy of both front and back side of her card, whereas the slide deck only had the front. So we'll come back around.
Yeah, and also she's boring and lame, and X-Men sucks. So moving on. All right, Exodus. Okay, so I don't know any of these characters, but Exodus sculpt rules.
Yeah,
straight up. I think it rocks.
It's definitely one of the best explosion effects that they've done. As someone who really doesn't like the exploding effects on most models, I think this one's really good. I think the motion of his cape is really cool. And I'm a person who's a big fan of static poses in general with minis, and they don't really do a lot of static poses. And I think this is kind of a fun way to give me a static pose that also has action and motion to it.
Mm-hmm. I also just think that they got to use the stoic poses more often.
Yes.
Like this sculpt is stoic, but it is not static.
Sure, that's a better way of phrasing it. Yeah.
Right. Like the cape is still moving, the tabard in front of him is still moving. I think it's great. I actually don't think the explosion downward makes a lot of sense, but whatever. Like I don't think it jives with the rest of what the miniature is doing. That's
fair. Yeah.
But I don't care. I still really like this sculpt, and I do not care or know who Exodus is. But apparently he's a vampire.
So the only thing I know about Exodus is he has like big old healing powers, and then also has a similar like confidence thing to Gladiator, but it's like faith based, where like the more powerful people believe he is, or like the more they worship him, the stronger he gets.
I don't think that really comes across in his design.
I mean, it's so like the healing part does come through, right? He does have a bunch of ways of healing himself, at least. I wonder if maybe on like the backside they'll show either like him getting more powerful or less powerful. If maybe there'll be more faith-based things. It could be a tactics card thing, could be a leadership card thing. It's hard to tell. Just getting only the front side of his card. But I agree they didn't quite nail that part of him with what we've seen.
Yeah. So I think the person that everyone is going to compare this character to is Cable, because he has 3 superpowers in common with Cable. He has Cable's throw almost exactly verbatim.
Yes.
He has Cable's teleport, but it costs 1 more for him.
Yep.
Which does make it significantly worse. He's a small base, Cable's a medium base.
Yep.
And they both create an extra power each turn, but so Exodus doesn't have it on turn 1, which is probably fine.
Yeah. He has
Uh, I,
medium move instead of cable short, which helps kind of balance it out a bit. But yeah.
yeah, I think they're like, yeah. And then he has the telekinetic shield thing where he can
Mhm.
like within 3 raise defenses by 2.
They're also both immune to poison.
Oh, yeah, interesting. Uh, and so he's got healing factor, and then his basic or his melee builder uh, always heals. Doesn't need damage like Omega Red. It just
Yeah.
if you make the attack, you heal after the attack is
I think
resolved.
this is the first attack that always heals because I think Supergiant also needs to do damage.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, so I think that's
Yes.
interesting. I think it being just one means that like you kind of know what you're in for, but it also being range 2 means like it might actually have a significant cost to it.
Yeah, I mean, I think the healing plus sap makes for a very interesting builder.
It's called
I also
Psionic Vampirism, and boy, did they really do the I steal your energy.
It's maximum vampirism for sure. But I also think that like his gun is pretty damn good having a size 4 push. Now it's pushed towards, but still, it needs a wild. But that's still a pretty nice gun as far as like random guns on characters go.
Vodka is also pointing out that the shielding is once per turn, unlike Cable.
Oh, that's much worse.
Yeah, that is much worse because like we were originally talking about like that this character doesn't do a ton of damage and
Yeah.
also isn't super tanky. Is kind of we were comparing him to Namor originally, and with that being once per turn, he's probably I guess he's about a Namor tankiness.
Yeah, I think at that point they're just like the same tankiness.
Yeah, well, you have to like kind of pick which attack they're gonna spike.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this character's design is cool. I am very skeptical that this character is good.
Yeah, I also think the shield being once per turn is a double bummer for me because I also think he kind of struggles to spend power and makes a lot, right? Because he's making 2 a turn and then has a good 6-die builder that also has sap. So he can end up with a lot of power and not a lot to do with it. And so, like, the shield being once per turn, I think really doubles down on the, like, well, what am I actually spending power on problem?
Yeah, I also think you're going to probably make the gainer more than you care to.
Yeah.
I think like Hop make. I think it's like Hop be outside of range 2, make the gainer, see if you pull them in to punch them.
Yeah.
Especially if you're already standing on a point. He's got like an interesting design. I just question whether he's strong enough. And I don't know. I think like he interacts interestingly with the Magneto leadership, which is cool. But and like we know that he's Brotherhood, right? This is a Brotherhood pack. Is like the idea.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, having a 1-cost size 1 throw for turn 1 on Magneto on a character who makes 2 power, so like he can still trigger the leadership and pick something up, is pretty cool. But that also means you're starting at 11 threat, which is going to be for Whedon Squad. So yeah, I agree. Interesting. I don't think he like breaks Magneto, but it seems like a solid place to start. I don't know. I think he needs a Tactus card or a cooler backside or something to make me really excited about what's going on here.
All right. And then alternatively, do we think this is a box? These 3 models are one box?
Yes.
Okay.
On the release schedule, they're 1 box.
Interesting that it's a 3-pack.
So spoilers for the future. The 6 Web Warriors we're getting are in 2 3-packs.
Yeah.
And also the Echo, Ronin, and Tigra is a 3-pack. Like everything we're getting after Phoenix is 3-packs.
Yeah, it's I think really weird.
Oh yeah, into next year too. That's like okay. They just do 3-packs now. It looks like.
Yeah, and especially with there not being that many new characters coming out this year. I guess it depends on what you consider that many, but I think it's weird that they're all going to be kind of like these bigger groupings of characters.
Yeah, I think we counted, and there's of what we know, and there can always be more surprises. There are 13 characters coming out for the rest of the year, which is not a small amount, but it's not huge, right? It's definitely slower than previous years.
Yeah. I hate the cat.
I love the cat.
The cat sucks, dude. Dude, it looks so bad.
Okay, what part of it do you not like?
Okay, like, so I also think the worst part of this model is almost certainly hidden behind the shoulder of this cat, where it actually transforms from being a cat to being whatever this like goo is that it's
Yeah,
doing.
it's psychic energy.
And also, this model is painted incredibly. Like every one of those spots is hand painted on.
Yes.
This model is going to look like butt painted by anybody but the best painters. This model is going to look so bad.
Listen, my Lady Mastermind is going to look great.
I do. What? Okay. How much am I getting to paint your Lady Mastermind? How much is Carl getting? How much is Koshi getting?
No, that's fair. I didn't think about like the spots problem and stuff. Yeah. Okay.
Like, I don't know. Like, I would love. I mean, so it's hard to judge without seeing a 360, and I'm being like a little bit mean.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
And I feel like I have to be because I was so nice about Exodus. But like, man, I don't particularly care for that. I also like. I don't know what her powers are, but why is it coming out of a tree? Why is she stepping on it?
Yeah, I don't. The tree part is the part that bugs me the most. So, like, she's a telepath, mind controlling person, right? And like makes illusions and.
Okay, I was like, how is telepath mindy person like?
Yeah,
the pink smoke tiger.
Yeah, so it's like almost like a Mysterio illusion type of deal, right? They did mention on stream. I have my notes here that Lady Mastermind, they found a way to let her use attacks from other characters' cards without it being horribly broken. So I'm super excited to see what that actually looks like in play.
Yeah, I'm really skeptical.
It's a hard thing to do, so I am nervous.
So like it being builders with in-range X, which is probably like the easiest way to do this, or like
like zero cost abilities.
Zero cost attacks is how they would actually do it, since builder's not an actual term. Could be really interesting because I see like the ability to like steal Mysterio's attack and then make somebody walk away from you is like really cool.
Yep.
Or like stealing Rhino's attack and getting the place.
Finally, a reason to play Shadow King.
Right. Yeah. Oh, I didn't even think about her stealing allies.
Oh yeah, I guess I don't know if it's allies or enemies. Yeah, good call.
Because I kind of assumed one of the ways you balance it is enemies' attacks and be like, you can't be mad. You brought those attacks.
That's fair. Yeah. Shadow King nerfs.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, if you can bring Shadow King along and you have 2 Shadow Kings, all right. Like, is that builder's bananas?
It's so good.
But if it's like it doesn't trigger anything, or she doesn't get power from it, or if it's locked to a really strong spender,
it can also be just like on a character of X threat or less.
Yeah, which I think also is kind of.
There's a lot of ways to do it. I'm excited to see what they do.
I'm a little bit worried because like that mechanic sounds like a mechanic you only use if it's busted.
Yeah. I mean, it's very likely to be busted or terrible.
Yeah, exactly. And so that makes me nervous. And they were like, it's not busted. And I'm like, Avalanche better be borked. Avalanche looks okay. I mean,
I don't like it at all.
I'm
glad they went with the dumb suit for him, like the 90s outfit for him rather than his more modern outfits. I like the really dorky costume, but like,
I mean, I do like that he's a big old Dorkosaurus. I do like that part.
But it looks to me like he's telekinetically like lifting and throwing this fire hydrant.
Yeah, what does he do?
He's a rock guy. He controls rocks.
Oh, okay, he's an earthbender?
Yes, yeah.
Which is so interesting that they chose to sculpt water then.
Yeah, that's part of why I'm mad about this effect, is it doesn't look like he's earthbending that. Like if you didn't know, right? And that should be an easy thing to communicate on a miniature, is like this dude is throwing rocks at people. Should not be hard.
He's called Avalanche, so he can like also be a water guy that's normally like causing avalanches because he's like a snowbender.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Right. And then the water's kind of all over the place. I actually think the water down here at the bottom is like pretty well sculpted. And then this is up here is goo.
Yeah.
Right? Like that doesn't look like water at all.
Sure doesn't.
And I don't know how much of that is on the paint job or on the sculptor, but I don't know. Also water and female faces are like the 2 hardest things in miniatures to sculpt.
Yep.
All right. Moving along, let's get to some exciting stuff. The new there's 2 new Web Warriors packs coming out. This one, I man, so Spider-Man 2099 looks great.
Yes.
I think the Miles sculpt like positioning, I think like the premise of how they decided to go about sculpting this model is a bad idea that they succeeded at despite themselves. Like I think this is a terrible pitch for how we should have done Miles Morales. But like after looking at the mini in the case, I think it looks incredible, and I think this is like literally the worst angle for the model that they're showing it at right now. I think it's like literally its worst angle, and I think the model looks good. So it's cool that they pulled it off, but man, like that's not an iconic Miles pose in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of my complaint with it too. Is that like the technical execution is obviously insane, right?
Yeah,
and
it
like
looks great. Like
yeah, the motion gets conveyed really well. You can tell what's going on. I think you were the one somebody said, multiple people said, who knows? It's like a good Iron Fist. Like this should be what Iron Fist looks like.
Absolutely. Like if you want to do like kind of think about word the entry for next year, like just crack Iron Fist's head off and scrape the spider stuff off of this guy and go to town.
But I agree with you that he just doesn't look like a web warrior to me. It's like, I've read maybe one Miles comic in my life, so maybe this hits better with fans, bigger fans of him. I also have not played the Spider-Man 2 PS5 game, so maybe this is like, you know what I mean? I could just be not enough knowledge to understand why this fits, but to my very baby web warrior brain, this doesn't look like a thing a web warrior should be doing. It looks like what an Asgardian should be doing.
And like it does somewhat fit with his power set. Like he does have, electrically charged hands.
Yeah, I've just never seen him fucking summon lightning. Like I thought it was like very short range tasery based, and not a 6 foot tall lightning bolt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it overall, I think it works though. I like.
Yeah.
This is not the direction I would ever go, but I do want to emphasize that I do think it works. And
it's so well executed that like I'm not going to complain about it after this stream. Right? Yeah, especially seeing in the chat all the Miles fans seem to like this Miles. So like, great, all right, that's fine. Not for me. Moving on.
Yeah, Miguel looks incredible. He looks fantastic.
Oh, I love Miguel. He's so fucking cool. Yeah.
And then, like that they worked in the little Alchemax thing. It's great. Prowler looks like butt though.
Yeah, it's not good.
Prowler looks bad. I'm so sad, dude.
Poor
which
guy.
is fine. Like 2 out of 3, great. I'm also sad he's not on a medium base, mostly because like motorcycle conversions would have been like the first place to go for like you don't love the mini, and he's on a small base, which means you can't do that. And also he's doing this weird jump pose, which means like he's pretty hard to repose in any way if you don't like the scope. So sad. This was one of like my most anticipated characters. Also, I hate that like his hands don't read his claws to me on the model.
No, and maybe that's just like this picture being fuzzy, and in person they'll be more claw-like, but
I don't know. I've seen the other photos from him being in the cage.
Oh, okay.
I didn't look. It doesn't really look like it to me, but oh well. Let's talk about how
real quick.
Sorry,
I just want to mention a thing they said about Prowler in the stream is that this is in fact Aaron Davis. It is the Spider-Verse Prowler and not Hobby. What's his name? That was the original Prowler. So I guess that means this one's more likely to be a Spider Foe, being Aaron Davis. That's what Oscorp said, and I trust him in all Spider Foe matters.
Okay.
All right. 2099.
Yeah, 2099. So he's a 5 threat. His builder's real good.
This guy rules.
He seems pretty good. So like his builder it's a 6-die Pierce that has the first double trigger on its second trigger, where it needs both a wild and damage, and then if it does that, it heals 1.
Yeah, which like so the math on that is weird, but healing on a spider is always good. So
yeah,
and like 6-dice Pierce. I don't think we've seen 6-dice Pierce before. Oh no, Malekith, right?
Malekith was 7-dice Pierce.
I was trying to remember if they took off a dice or took off Pierce, and they took off Pierce. Okay.
Yeah.
But still, that's a hell of an attack for a 5.
Yeah, it seems very good. And it's power equal to damage dealt, so like that Pierce is really going to go a long way. Like he can spike into big power.
Yeah, he'll make power very well.
And then he has a 5 dice impact webbing that has pull him to you instead of the other way around, or it has pursuit. It's like 5 die blade gun, which seems fine.
Yeah, it's like you don't want to use it, but and I think it's fine for this to be the brawler web warrior. Like they talk about, this guy's meant to get up there and brawl and fight and not be a control guy. And so I'm kind of glad he doesn't have impact webbing and leans harder into the, no, I'm coming over to you to beat the shit out of you.
Yeah, and also like he has weird range bands in that this is the only thing he does from range 4.
Yes.
And that like his mobility is locked to range 3 because he has web whip like
Scarlet Spider.
Scarlet.
Yep.
So like I think there'll be times where you're gonna take your 70%er or whatever it is on 5 dice needing a hit.
Yeah, the Angela problem.
Yeah. But yeah. I don't think it's as bad of an Angela problem because it doesn't cost a power, it makes a power.
Correct. Yeah, it's definitely not as bad as an Angela problem. And then also because he has mobility within 3, and like maybe you want to use this to make a power, and if you pursued in, then you won't have to web whip. Right? Like if he's trying to get to his builder, there's at range 3, he could do this. If he hits the pursuit, get in there, builder you, and then if he doesn't, he can use web whip with the power he gained to get in there and hit you. So he has just having those extra options really helps him not feel shit the way Angela feels shit sometimes.
Yes, I agree. And also, he's on a small base, so he's not a safe grab.
Yep.
And he's medium mover, so he's double not a safe grab.
Yeah, it's the spender is insane. The spender does so many things.
Yeah. Okay. So before damage, poison, and stun. So it's before damage, stun, which we already know is like one of the strongest combinations of effects you can have.
Yes.
Right. The only reason you even think about spending with Mystique is because the stun goes on first.
Yep.
He places himself within 1,
and
it has wild throw.
Size 4.
And the places after the throw is before. So you have to throw and then you place to where the guy lands.
Okay, and it is throw away. So it's one of the more limited throw plus place part things that we've had, but it's still good. Like I think that's what Master Punch is on Black Bolt.
Fucking crazy, dude. It is nuts. And as we'll see on the next slide, there's a new web warrior that cares very much about conditions.
Yeah. Who cares some amount.
And then we already have Spider-Woman who already cares about poison. So like her being able to maybe like pick on somebody with the spender.
Well, and just like she also has a before damage stun on her builder. So like you can have a game where the two of them just deny your opponent so much power if early stuff goes well. It
is a little bit hard to see how tanky he is because he's 4/4/3 with acceleration decoy, which is very expensive, but oh my god, does it do so many things.
Yeah.
It's reroll all your defense dice, including skulls, or reroll any dice, including skulls, and then place yourself within 2.
That's so cool.
So it's like Blade's defensive reroll and parting shot combined, except it's more like slippery because you get to go any direction.
Yes.
It is weird, dude.
Yeah, I mean, it's so expensive, but the effect is so strong, and like the clever ways you can use the place too. It's also not once per turn if you really want to get squirrely with 6 power.
I mean, also like, okay, you reroll, like they roll 6 hits, you're like, oh, nothing, reroll all. Okay, I pick up 3, I'm alive, I have power to do it again.
Also, if you pick up a crit, you get a bonus power because his next ability is a scientific genius.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you also have scientific genius, which I think is cool, and I wish they would build. I like that they're building that into more Marvel characters that are smart.
Totally. Yep.
Right. Like I think it's a really clever way to like recognize that in the game. It's actually one of my complaints. I wish that Lizard had it. I think not that Lizard needs to be a better model, but I wish that side of the character was more represented.
I also think it's a better idea than like strategic genius, for example. Like it's a much safer ability to stick on characters than like strategic genius.
And like strategic genius and charismatic leader are like, I work well with others, or
Yeah.
I'm great at making these kinds of plans. You know, like
Hmm.
specifically the thing that Tony Stark is terrible at,
Sure. Yeah.
right? Whereas Tony Stark maybe should have the Crit's power thing, fluff wise, obviously. The other thing is this guy is going to be effing obnoxious to get an extract off of,
Yes.
right? So you're like, right? So let's assume like it's going pretty good for you. You're like, all right, it's a Web Warrior mirror. I'm gonna go Venom touch him with Miles, and he's like, well, I'm gonna reroll my dice at this and move 2 away from you, which I guess would not quite get him out of range of 3, or he
Or
probably
out
is
of
still
medium.
just in pickup range.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're probably gonna get 1 attack at this guy, and then he's gonna dip with his extract. So
Yeah. Well, and then also like if he has Gwen backup, right? Then like your follow-up attack can get really hairy. Um,
you have and spider tracker, so there's some combination of decoy, spider tracker, and lifesaver.
it's just it's one more rake
Yeah,
for people to step on in really interesting ways, I think.
maybe I need to go back to Web Warriors.
And we also forgot to mention this dude just natively ignores stealth and cover for all things
Oh
Fraser.
yeah, please be in shield, dude. Dude, please be in shield. Right? He could be in shield, right? Like that's
Sure, fucking I don't know.
I don't know. Like Agent Venom's in shield. Like I don't really know anything about this guy, but sure, come on, give me,
Yeah.
give me, give me.
And then also he has healing factor, which like with his 7 health makes him really good at playing instant recovery. Which is just one more way this dude like his durability is weird, like we talked about, but it's like that's yet another way he can be obnoxious as fuck to deal with. What a good character! I think this is probably the thing I'm most excited about
Yeah,
of
I
all the
think
things we've seen.
he's really cool. He has really interesting rules. He still follows the like Web Warrior kind of retread, where they're like reusing Web Warrior abilities. But I think they're I think he's more cleverly applied than Scarlet Spider is,
Way more, yeah.
or than Gwenom was.
Yes, totally.
Maybe similar interest to Gwenom. Gwenom just has alias problems.
Well, I think Gwendom's just kind of a worse model. Like I think she has
Yeah.
cool ideas that just don't play out in the table well enough. But
Yeah, you're probably right.
also
but,
interesting.
Yeah.
Sorry, somebody just pointed this out. He can't reroll on dodges. His acceleration's only attacks, so he's
Ooh.
like more vulnerable to throws than other webs normally are.
Good.
I mean, yeah, I don't think it's a problem, but I missed that. I just kind of assumed acceleration decoy would work on throws, but I don't know why, but it doesn't. Yeah, I think just like all brawly leadership and this guy and maybe Spider Woman, maybe Scarlet Spider, maybe the character we're gonna look at next. The fighting webs dream gets more and more alive. Like when this guy plays all webbed up, he hits harder than Malekith, sort of, if you ignore skull crits and understand that I'm being facetious. But 8 dice pierce builders is pretty damn good.
Yes. Oh, do you think there's any chance that Aaron Davis is a Web Warrior?
Sure, I don't fucking know. Yeah, there is a chance, yeah.
Because like if that's the case, like because like I guess he's so close with Miles, I don't know. Yeah. All right. You ready to move on?
Yeah, let's talk about the other Web Warrior.
Other Web Warrior, because there's 2 Web Warrior packs.
Yep.
Sculpt wise, I think they effing crushed Spider Ham, dude. I think they nailed it.
I think Spider Ham looks incredible. I think Silk looks really good. I think Noir. I liked Noir until you told me your idea for Noir, and I was like, oh, that's so much better. Now I don't like this one.
Yeah. Sorry. I mean, like, I think Noir would have been a classic example of using a static pose or a stoic pose better.
Yep.
Like, I think if you had done him just standing like against a wall or something with the coat billowing, you'd have been so much better off. Then, like, yes, it doesn't really show off that he's a spider, but you know that he is. Right? And I don't know. I think the pose is like only fine.
It does. The more I look at it, the more it makes him look like he's like 5 foot tall at most.
It's just also it's much more Night Monkey than it is
Oh, sure.
Spider
Yeah,
Noir.
that's fair.
But it's fine. Like, I don't actually think it's bad. I mean, I also have a dislike of the like cut off rooftop.
Oh, yeah, that's not for everyone.
Right. But man, I think Silk looks great. I think Spider Ham is perfect.
Yes, no doubt. It's great.
Yeah. Very happy with this pack. Okay, so Spider Ham, they finally did it. Everybody's been asking for the for the 2-threat Spider Ham.
Yep.
I feel like this year is like, or this like set of spoilers has been the like designed by things that people have said on the internet.
And these web ones look like they're like, okay, what do we released some Web Warriors last year? Like, this isn't true, right? But like they released Web Warriors last year that didn't really change Web Warriors rosters that much. So like, fucking fine, okay, let's make some webs that are very different and like fill holes people have been asking for a while.
Yeah. So Spider Ham is straight def 2s. He is a 2-threat. He's size 1, which is kind of important.
Yes.
So you can like hide him behind cars and stuff, and he can shoot. He can impact or pie in the eye people from behind the car, which I think is just like pretty funny.
He's going to be an annoying little shit. Like, that's just what this character does, is be an annoying little shit, and that size 1 is a big part of that.
All right, so he has a range 2 gainer that has 4 different triggers that are all as more preposterous than the last. So he has Wild Slow. Importantly, this is the first slow on an affiliated Web
Warrior. Yeah, okay.
Which is kind of wild, which means on the all webbed up turn, somebody could shake and then Porker could show up and be like, "Map slowed, boom, 6 die. I'm a 2-threat."
I didn't catch that. That's cool. All right, all
right. He has crit stun after the effect. He's not from the future.
Yeah.
And he has shield hit elusive, which I think you will hit and then be like, I don't know, I don't have anywhere to go. I didn't plan around hitting this.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like when you roll the shield on Lovable Misfits. You're like, cool. Like, what do I do with this?
Yeah, I think that's the least impactful of these triggers for sure.
And then he has, I believe it's crit hit push.
Yep.
So I mean, you'll like literally hit these, but also his push is sizeless.
Yes, I was saying it's sizeless and omnidirectional. So like
Get
the best
out of here,
push.
Sentinels.
It is a 12.59% chance to push. So like that's not nothing. It's higher than I expected it to be. You know, this thing is like in my head, this is like a 4 or 5%er. 12% isn't bad. Like you never rely on it, but that's not this character. You know, this character's not meant to be reliable.
Man, it's less often that you whiff a 5 die into vanilla stats.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay. And then he's got Web Yoink, which is a goofy, quote unquote, fixed version of Webline.
Are we skipping his attacks for a reason?
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry. I already mentioned he can shoot you with pie in the eye, which is impact webbing, but instead of having push, it has shock.
Which seems really good for webs.
It does seem very good. Yeah.
Really leaning in, like I said, the annoying little shit. If he's like standing behind a car, you can't see him, and shooting out a shotgun and shocking your people that then have to go punch into spider senses.
It's less good than I thought it is. It doesn't make power.
Oh, yeah, I just kind of in my head thought it would be okay. All right.
Yeah, okay. So I guess I'm more okay with that. He's not going to just sit there and just constantly pie in the eye people.
Well, at least there's like a trade-off if he chooses to do so. Yeah.
But you can also do this from behind a size 2 car and then not get shot back.
Yep.
Which seems great. And then his spender is a range 2 6 die, costs 4, and then always gives, if they have shock and stun, it gives stagger.
Cute. I don't know how often you're going to line up shock and stun, because it's not like web warriors are good at shocking things, but...
Spider-Woman has both shock and stun on her builder.
Yes.
So, I don't know, maybe I might, like like if I hit both triggers on a random spider weapon builder, I might run over there with
totally.
Ham and be like staggered.
But
Thank
that's the
you.
only shock in faction, right?
His shock.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
But yes, so far correct. Although, doesn't Silk have electric powers? I don't know. I'm making that up.
Yeah.
And I
But
mean, New Miles looks like he's got shock. Come
that's
on.
true. There could be some more shock coming in this way. And I do like that the effect is guaranteed, right? So like you can, like you mentioned, if Spider-Woman just happens to get 2 wilds, you know this is going to work if Ham goes over there and does it. So it's like the hoops to jump through are all beforehand, and there's not like I think this would feel worse even if it's just like a wild do this stuff. I like that it's guaranteed if you've jumped through the previous hoops.
Yeah. And also keep in mind it costs 4 power. He only has a gainer. He only has 3 hit points.
Yes.
So
he will not be doing this super often.
Yeah. Maybe he has more hit points on the back. I'm hoping maybe he's a reverse Toad.
I don't think so, since he has fucking damage reduction.
Fine. Okay. Yeah. So, Web Yoink is like a fixed web line for a 2-threat. It's pay 2, flip a coin, or pick a model within 4, pay 2, flip a coin. Heads, they come to you if they're 3 or less. On tails, you go to them, which has great cartoon comic-y feel, like real Zoinks Bugs Bunny nonsense.
Yes.
Then he has damage reduction and spider senses.
Well, yes, but also
kind of
a really important bad clause at the end there.
If he takes damage, he drops any objectives he's carrying, and his damage reduction is -1.
Yeah, so like, he's very tanky because he's def 2, reroll 2 with damage reduction. So like for a 2-threat, that's pretty damn durable. But any damage makes him drop all the objectives. And it's also just like crisis damage does it, friendly damage does it, any damage for any reason, he drops everything he's holding.
Bleed does it, which is like the important one. So like putting bleed on Spider-Ham is incredible.
Yeah.
Like, you probably don't play this guy in a Midnight Suns. Sorry to say it.
I think that's so important because like you read the rest of this card, it's like, yeah, his attacks are okay, but he's a 2-threat, whatever. Web Yoink is cool. Holy shit, he's tanky. Oh, I see the balance lever here. And it is like wholly just being bad at holding extracts.
Yeah, he's super secure focused, but he's also a 2-threat that benefits from all webbed up that has damage reduction.
Yeah, like I think he's really good, right? And it's like it's hard to be a bad affiliated too, and I think I like this downside more than like the Badger Nebula one where you can't do any crisis things. I think a lot of those characters they should just pick 1/2 of the crisis for them to do. Like you kind of see that with like Wolverines and stuff where they can't do extracts but they do secure is fine. I just think that's more interesting to play than you can't do any crisis things.
Yeah, and actually, I believe we have like more characters now. So with the inclusion of Spider-Ham, we now have more characters that have the negative side effect that gets to play one side because that's how Goblin works. That's how Wolverine works. That's kind of how Spider-Ham works.
That's how Weapon X the Man works.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think it's just an example of them moving in the correct direction design-wise. And I've ultimately been pretty impressed with stuff coming out of the studio lately.
I want to talk a bit more about Web Yoink and how fucking cool it is, by the way.
Yeah.
So the thing I love about this is it's just like, it has interesting skill testing decisions around it that I think lets good players get more out of it than bad players. So like, obviously learning how to like front stop yourself. So if you're on a secure that you don't want to leave, you can, use terrain or use other models to block yourself. So you don't get pushed. Also situations, I think, where like he gets thrown off a point and he wants to get, whoever threw him off the point, he wants to get them off. You can use this and then either result is fine. Like either you move back on to contest it or you pull them off with you into the void. And like both sides of that are good for him. So I think there's really interesting ways to mitigate the downside. It is only up to size 3. I think this is the first web thingy we've seen with a size limit on it, which is also important. But up to size 3 is still like the majority of important
Okay.
characters in the game.
Last time I checked, it was 85% of the game. It's
Yeah, that
probably
sounds
more
right.
now because we haven't
Yeah.
gotten that many more big boys
Yeah.
since I last checked. Carl has a good point saying, I don't think this character is going to be splashed anywhere. Probably not.
Yeah.
He's kind of interesting in Steve 3, to be honest. He's kind of a funny
Sure.
character. But yeah,
Not
I
bad
don't.
in Steve 1.
Just
every
for
turn
one cost,
is-
yoink.
Yeah. Let's you
and
shoot
for
the
extra
shotgun
money.
more often.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't think that's better than playing.
I mean, it's probably not better than the splash. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I think he's pretty funny in Steve 3. Steve 3 clown car, get in the clown car. Use the leadership as many times as possible. Okay. We good to move on?
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got scopes here. They mentioned them as Echo, Ronin, and Tigra?
Yeah, Tigra.
They mentioned them as defenders and avengers. So maybe Ronin not in shield. I think they look fine. I think I like the Echo sculpt the most. It's hard without seeing the Tigra closer. The Tiger.
Yeah.
Closer.
I think the Tiger looks a little rough just solely because of the face, and it's not. So I think having that face with like the more well-defined jawline totally works. I just don't. She should be making an expression, right? Like it looks like she's leaping at you. She should have like a mouth open roar or something going on to lean into the "I'm leaping at you" action, and she just has a very flat, neutral expression on her face that kills it for me.
It's like the Dua Lipa meme, like, yeah, girl, give us nothing.
I do like Echo better here than the shot we saw of her in the display case. I think this is just a better angle, and I think she works pretty well. And I like Ronin a lot.
I think, yeah, I like both her and Ronin. I think they both look good.
Yeah.
I think I like her a little bit more than Ronin, but I mean, Ronin looks fine.
Sure.
He looks like a ninja. I'm not a big ninja dude.
I might just like his costume more than hers, and that's what's making the difference for me. Yeah, that's fair.
I thought it was really interesting that I'd be really interested to know if the handprint is free-handed on her or not.
Yeah.
Because typically they don't freehand on the studio models. But then again, we did just see that leopard print thing.
Yeah. Does Malekith's physical model have stripes on it?
Probably not.
I didn't think it did.
But I feel like when they're doing hair, like they definitely, like every time they've done hair, they'll like hand draw all the hairlines.
Sure. Yeah. I'm just like looking for other precedent.
But
yeah, it'll be interesting to find out. The other thing I'm interested about with these two is so the render we saw of Ronin, his back hand, I guess his left arm, yes, had a bow in it. So I wonder if that's going to be different hand options for him, or they just changed their mind. But he had like a bow in that hand and a sword, or maybe it's just like a scabbard in the front hand. Actually, I should see if I could find that again. But like meaningfully different weapons and arms in the render that we saw.
I also don't know if I've ever seen Ronin without the hood up in the art.
Oh, yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, I just looks a little strange to me, but I mean, it looks cool. I don't know anything about Tigra at all.
I don't know.
I assume she's a cat person. I thought this was a DC character. All right. Ooh. One of these models is probably in S.H.I.E.L.D., right? Right? At least one of these. I don't know. This is like pretty cool that we're getting 3 more people in armor, and if there's an Iron Man affiliation, I'd be pretty into playing that.
Are you intentionally skipping Blue Marvel and Spectrum?
Yes, they suck.
Okay.
I didn't say their thing. No, I didn't intentionally skip them.
I have nothing. Yeah,
I have nothing to say either. Both sculpts are fine. I definitely thought it was Photon and not Spectrum.
That's the same person, I believe.
Oh, is it the same person?
Yeah, hold on. Googling.
Googling. Everyone wait.
Yes, they're both Monica Rambeau.
Oh, okay, never mind that.
So it is the character from the Marvels, which is my only exposure to Spectrum Photon.
What? You haven't seen WandaVision?
Oh, right. She's in that for 2 minutes and does nothing.
What? She gets powers.
Great.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know anything about those two characters. They look cool. I'm excited about. Oh, they did say they're going to be a new affiliation called Mighty Avengers, which is not a name I know anything about, but seemed to elicit positive reactions from people. So
they said a new affiliation.
Yeah.
Ugh. I thought we were keeping all the Avengers affiliations under the tent of Avengers.
Main characters of Mighty Avengers is Blue Marvel, Luke Cage, Captain America, Kalu, Power Man, She-Hulk, Spectrum, Spider-Man, White Tiger.
I hope it's just a new leadership.
They did say, I mean, yeah, they could have misspoke. They definitely said the word affiliation, but that's not a contract.
That's the thing where it's been like the West Coast Avengers. They're like, that's an Avengers with a different leadership.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, big robot time.
Yeah. I am a little bit worried here. So I think Kang looks great.
Yep. 100%.
I don't particularly care for the character of Iron Lad, but I think he looks good here.
I know nothing about the character, but I agree. The fact looks good.
He's young Kang from the future or something like that.
Oh, sure. Okay.
And then I like Rescue Sculpt except for the head.
I mean, it could just be a bad picture or fuzzy angle, but yeah, I agree.
It kind of looked. I hope she has a helmeted option.
Yes, I agree.
If not, we will be finding a spare Iron Man head somewhere.
Yeah.
We'll be fixing that. So it's like a fixable thing for me. And maybe it looks better in person. But like
totally.
The character's motion appears to be going backwards, the hair appears to be going forwards. No thank you. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, you're right. Yeah. The hair is definitely not doing what it should for the way that she's flying.
I like Ironmonger that appears to be...
I love Ironmonger.
Okay, so it looks like it's a medium base, and that they just decided to put the biggest model they could on a medium base.
I mean, it totally could be, but also it could be a 65. Like, they definitely have scale.
If it's a 65, this model is fucking huge.
I mean, yes. He's either a very large lad on a 50 or the new biggest model in the game on a 65.
And comes in a 4-pack.
Yeah.
There's no way he's on a large base. This is insane. This is like when you tried to convince me the Commandos were on a large base.
It's probably a 50, yes. And he's just a big chonker on a 50, but like smaller than Hulkbuster is my guess.
Yeah. Well, it looks like Lick would come up to his core. His like chest core thing.
Yeah, that'd be my guess. Maybe a little bit below that.
Mm-hmm. So he looks very big. I like the sculpt overall. I don't like the 1 foot shooting the rocket boots with just the 1 foot thing.
Yeah, it's like he's starting to take off, I guess. I'm not quite sure what the motion is there either.
Yeah. Maybe it's optional. Who knows? Probably is.
But the rest of it looks great. The face is incredible. Yeah. The arm guns are cool. I mean, it's a big robot. It's hard. They're very good at big robots, right? Every robot in this game looks sick.
Okay. So is that stick a little antenna, or does he have like a big old sword back there?
Because I don't know, but I
know a thing coming off his leg too. That's like, I don't know what that is.
Like looking at art of Ironmonger, the thing on his back looks like an antenna.
Okay. All right. Cool. I think it looks great. I would totally play an Armor Wars faction. Absolutely. Yeah. Give me all the Iron Mans and buffed War Machine. Let's go. But we gotta wait till next year. Sad. Maybe this will be what I'll crush you guys with at next year's Adepticon.
Oh yeah, Q1. Yeah. All right.
Okay. You got anything else to say about these nerds?
Nah, they look cool. I like them all.
All right. I know who Adam Warlock is because I got conned into reading the original Infinity War book, which I found incredibly boring and weird.
I mean, he's also in Guardians 3, which you've seen.
Yeah, he's a very
different. Yeah, yeah.
Different, very weird character. The sculpts look cool. This guy's got a weird anime star sword, and he's got weird Sailor Moon nonsense behind him. That's cool. Or she
Yeah,
does.
I think
I don't know.
I think Adam Warlock looks solid. I think Quasar and Moondragon look great. Like the meditating effect with the power bubble around it, I think works super well.
Which one's Quasar and which one's Moondragon? I think this is, hang on. I'm gonna guess.
Okay.
I think this is Quasar.
I can't tell what you're pointing at, so say.
Oh, you're not watching the stream. So the far right.
It's delayed as fuck, so that's not really gonna.
Sorry,
help
I think the far right is
okay.
Quasar, and I think the far left is Moondragon.
Correct.
All right, we did it.
I think Moondragon looks sick. It's another stoic pose, but like crazy good action. Yeah, I love stoic, everything about that
static. One. Like you should do that more.
Yes. I think Adam looks good. I think Quasar, the motion isn't the best, but still looks good.
So it's going to entirely depend for me how far this back piece is from the hand. Yes. In this shot, it looks like it could be a one plane model, like it's one piece.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
But if that's not the case, I think it's kind of
that would help a lot. Yeah. Yep. Totally.
And I think like they're clearly going for this weird circle effect for this outline shape.
Mm-hmm.
And having the sword be part of it, I think is kind of an interesting design element.
Totally, yeah.
And I think you could do some really interesting, like very bright things or some OSL effect coming off of that piece.
Absolutely.
But I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think, and then, more stuff for Guardians is cool. These all have like weird and like this is like really getting into the very cosmic stuff in Guardians where shit just gets weird and mystical and magical. So like what they do on the table could be fucking anything.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
They did say, interestingly, this box would be good for Guardians and quote several other affiliations. Wow. I have no idea what that means.
Convocation, maybe. I don't know. They look like they could be doing magic nonsense.
Oh, they also mentioned that these will be painted in the display case tomorrow. Dallas
I think they said just Moondragon.
Oh, maybe that. Well, okay, yes. Some number of these, between 1 and 3 models in this box, will be in the display case tomorrow. So hopefully we get to see cool pics of that.
All righty. Yep. Moving on. They did it, guys. We got them. We yelled it from the rooftops long enough that they should put all 3 Warriors 3 on the same base and give them 3 separate attacks, and they did it.
I mean, it worked so well for the Wrecking Crew. I'm glad to see more of this.
Yeah. I wish they were on a bigger base and had a better thing going on than just kind of being stoic here.
Yeah.
Where they were more spread out and more diorama-esque. But this is fine.
Yeah, I think the static poses aren't their best. I'm kind of... they went with the really lame outfits and didn't do anything to make them cooler. Like they just kind of look like 3 cosplaying dorks, which I know is kind of what they look like in the comics, and it's fine. But it's not the vibe that I like for these. And I think they look especially odd next to how cool and serious this Valkyrie looks. Which I don't think does them any favors, but whatever. It's fine.
I mean, you're going to hate to transport this Valkyrie.
Oh, absolutely. It's a fucking nightmare.
I am also going to want to see it up closer. Her face kind of looks like it's unfinished, but it also could just be the resolution of this photo.
Yeah, totally.
And also, it could just straight up be unfinished. Like, it's a render that's not due till next year.
Yeah. I just think it's cool we get Valkyrie on the Pegasus, right? Like that's an iconic visual, and it's a thing a lot of people wanted since we got the original Valkyrie, who I think is not a good, like it wasn't a good sculpt when it came out and has not aged well either. So just like having a Valkyrie that actually looks cool, I think is exciting.
I like that they put her more in the high ponytail, more like Tessa Thompson.
Yep.
What are these weird bubbles coming off of the wing on this horse?
I assume that's like part of its. I guess there's like armor attached to it.
Okay.
I'm not really sure.
Yeah, me neither.
So
So the
important
real
question
question.
about.
Oh, sorry. I hope you're making the same joke that I'm about to make.
Well, I was going to ask you if the Warriors 3 all being on one base, is this like a positive or negative towards our desire of wanting all of the Fantastic Four on one base?
I think it's a positive. They got to put them. They got to put them on a large base. All four of them with like Mr. Stretch going around everybody, right? With like a matching Johnny spin. It'll be great. No, the joke I was going to go after was like, so if Valkyrie's 3 points, this Valkyrie maybe 4 points. So horse 1 point. 1
Yeah,
point
that sounds
horses
right.
in Marvel Crisis. Put him on a horse. Give him a point. Horses and Infinity Gems, the same. The same.
Same
points.
strength. Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Yep.
All right. Ugh. All right. Skip. No.
Now, hey, hold on. I think this box is sweet. So they have Jubilee. This is the character I've wanted the most since the original X-Men run. I love Jubilee. And I think I want to see some other angles, but I'm very optimistic about this pose. I like that she has the fireworks coming out. They did a really good job with like Gambit and his energy effect of him throwing cards. So I'm excited to see more stuff like that. I'm glad she's like glasses down with the hair and coat blowing backwards. I think that works well with the effect of her shooting forward. I still don't love that every X-Men has to stand on a goddamn Sentinel, but I'm just going to die mad about that, and it's okay.
Whatever. You'll cut it off, and you'll make it an arcade cabinet or something, and you'll love it.
But everything else about this, I think they just fucking nailed it. I love this Jubilee so much.
Man. So Jubilee's good and fine and whatever, but man, Multiple Man fucking rules, dude.
So he's also my favorite one here. And this is very much a box of like have and have not, because like Jubilee looks great, Multiple Man looks great, Havoc and Moonstar look awful.
Moonstar looks awful. Havoc is fine. I don't know.
But let's talk about Multiple Man because that's fucking
okay. Okay, the snap, the like
so
billowing
good.
coat, the like
yes.
The like them all just kind of doing whatever is great. The one reading the newspaper is so good. Like this is great. This is exactly what I was talking about when I was like, I wish they would do more of this stuff. Like this is great. This has so much character.
Yeah, it's oozing personality.
I'm a little bit sad that he's almost certainly being represented as a grunts model and doesn't have some other weird, goofy, multiple characters mechanic. Like, I would love if you just slowly put more and more and more of them out.
I mean, that would be cool, but I think that's hard to do. Like, the grunts kind of make sense as a way to accomplish this. And, you know, who knows, right? Like, how he makes them and how they go away, we'll have to see. But the sculpts here are fucking perfect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they look great. Like, you're probably going to get me to buy this box if it owns, like, it doesn't play X-Men. Yeah. The Multiple Man rules. Like, this makes me want to go read Multiple Man comics, a character I followed not at all.
Yeah. It's just so cool. They nailed it.
Yeah, I don't know anything about Danny Moonstar. Is this, right, is she holding the thing? Is she a he?
It's a she. It's a bow and arrow with like a really weird angle.
Okay. And so she has a hand behind that. Her hand isn't a bow and arrow?
Yes.
Or her shoulder isn't a bow and arrow?
No, she's a normal, looks like a normal person holding a bow and arrow.
Okay. And I want to bring this up because it looks like this has a string.
Yeah.
Which is a choice, man.
I'm interested to see how that works out. Yeah, it's always like every bow in every miniatures game has a really difficult problem and hard choice to make about does the bowstring get physically modeled or not.
Yeah, and maybe it's just like there because these are renders. It could just be there as a reference so that it looks right, and then they delete it later. But I thought that was weird. The Havoc doesn't really look like any of the Havocs that I've known.
Yeah, they picked the weirdest possible costume for Havoc here. This is like a really, really old one, whereas most people are more familiar with the ones that have like the big circle in the chest and like the white V coming out of his head or whatever. This is a throwback costume, I think. I don't know. I don't. As much as I love Cyclops, I hate Havoc. So you know.
Yeah. It also looks like he's wearing a garter, so that's fun.
Yeah.
Getting married, bud? Anyway.
I also don't understand why he has the energy waves coming like out of his hands and feet. Where I'm most like, I know he doesn't always do this, but he's usually the chest laser dude. Like, why not shooting a chest laser? We don't have any chest lasers in this game yet either.
Yeah.
Oh well. Jubilee, cool. Multiple man, cool. Rest of the box, whatever. We get Jubilee, multiple man.
It's fine. You only need 2 cool models in a box.
Totally.
Okay, unless you're foes,
nope.
and then they all have to roll. Okay.
Sure.
I'm pretty into this.
Giant robots.
Sorry, I'm moving on to Bastion and Nimrod.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And the Omega Sentinel. Okay, so real quick, Nimrod's the middle guy, right?
Yes.
Okay, and then Bastion's the guy on the right.
Yes.
And then the lady on the left is the Omega Sentinel?
Correct.
Do I not know what an Omega Sentinel is?
Probably not.
Okay.
So I don't know a ton. My understanding, the Omega Sentinel was a person that got infected with like Omega Sentinel technology. And so she's like a cyborg combination of human and robot. Similar but different to Bastion.
Okay. I think Nimrod looks good. I'm into the Nimrod thing.
Nimrod looks incredible.
I will probably remove a bunch of this static electricity stuff, but I think he looks cool. I do like that he's grabbing it, and I think it interacts well with him.
Mm-hmm.
Bastion, I'm not super keen on, although he does kind of look unfinished, so maybe he'll look way better.
Yeah, we'll see more of what's going on there. It is very just like we have a Doc Ock at home kind of thing.
We have Doc Ock at home. And then they talked about that there's this box and then another Omega Sentinel box or Omega Sentinels come in the other box.
So
that have the crisis cards?
Yes. So next year's crisis pack is going to be called Tolerance is Extinction. It will come with the new crisis cards and the Omega Prime Sentinel.
So
I don't know the difference between.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Hopefully they're not. They don't share an alias or whatever.
No, the Prime Sentinels are different. So I think I've heard of Prime Sentinels before, but he very specifically called it Omega Prime, and I don't know if that's different. But like,
maybe it's a Prime infected with Omega parts or whatever.
Did you watch X-Men '97?
Yes.
Okay. Great. You know how there's like all the human Sentinels at the end that Bastion's killing people with? Those are Prime Sentinels.
Oh, okay.
Or like a close enough for government war kind of Prime Sentinel. So I'm assuming something like that, a more human-sized and shaped Sentinel.
Interesting, because I assumed that it would be like our Sentinel Mark IV Prime that we have.
Their name choice with Sentinels are so confusing in this game. I don't know what anything is until I see it. But hey, 4 new Sentinels is pretty good for an affiliation of 4 models.
And also, I'm just kind of surprised they released Sentinels. They didn't do Wild Sentinels. I feel like they could have done a box of Wild Sentinels.
Yeah, totally.
But I don't know. Nimrod, I think, is very cool because I really
definitely
like
the best of the box. Yeah.
So yeah, these are cool. I'm excited. Hopefully they touch the other Sentinels during this refresh.
I feel like they will.
And I hope they do it in an interesting way where like either they could be outfitted differently or they're Sentinel 1 and 2 and they're different somehow.
I mean, I don't think they're going to go. I agree with you. I would like that. I am not holding my breath for that.
Yeah, you're probably right. They'll probably just like make all their numbers 1 higher, and then they'll be the strongest, boringest thing in the game. All right. So we've reached almost the end. So this is our layout. As we said, 13 new miniatures, not 13 new releases.
Yes.
It looks like the vast majority of the releases this year are going to be affiliation packs.
Yes.
Which is okay.
Yep.
the fact that there's no Q4 on here at all is kind of wild to me.
Yeah, I also noticed that the Shatterpoint release timeline also had nothing in Q4.
So maybe there's a Christmas surprise, but probably
Yeah,
not.
and I didn't stick around for Legion to see what their release schedule looks like. It's just another data point, but yeah, it is odd. But there could be surprises we don't know about. These release schedules are never like 100% comprehensive.
Yeah, but I think it's like it's a little light, but especially if they're doing all these repacks, that's where a lot of their bandwidth is going. And if the balance pass is good, I'm gonna forget not a lot of
Yeah, I mean, I
releases,
think
a
that's
lot of
what
lame releases
will
or whatever.
help with this year, right? So they said in May we're going to get a balance update, print and play, PDF, all that stuff, right? And so how big that is and how good it is can wildly change what like the rest of the year feels like, right? And can help with the kind of lower number of releases. They mentioned a few models that would be in it. They mentioned Magic, they mentioned Bullseye, they mentioned Colossus, and they specifically said that Sinister is not in this one, but may get buffed in the next one in 12 months or less. So it sounds like these are going to become slightly more regular. They kind of mentioned that these repacks have been a forcing function for them and allowed them to do balance updates more regularly. Because, like, well, if we have to make the card horizontal anyways, we have to print a new one. Let's double check it and make sure it's, what we would want for the modern game and modern meta. So I don't know if that, like, cadence will slow down again because they're kind of like catching up on all these 4-packs, right? And like after this year, there'll probably be less 4-packs coming out regularly. But it does sound like we're in a time where they have an opportunity to look at a bunch of these characters. And so in May, we get a big batch of characters, probably not exclusively in the like repacks, but a lot of people in the repacks. And like we might see buffs for characters who don't get repacked until the end of the year, but we'll see their updated card in May.
Vodka points out something really interesting here over in the chat that so Blue Marvel and Spectrum are for Q4, and just like me, they forgot to put them on the
list. Like I said, these are never comprehensive. Okay, yeah.
Okay, so I guess that makes 15 because you counted off this list, right?
Yes, I counted. Yeah, so that would be 15 models for this year.
All right, and instead of 6 more releases, we have 7 more releases. That I don't know. That feels like that moves it a bit for me.
Totally.
But also, I don't know. I mean, their sculpts are both fine, so maybe they'll be correct, or maybe they'll be in Shield, and I'll love them. Who knows? Yeah. Okay. So how I want to cap this off is if we tab over to the repack plan.
Okay.
How do you feel about closing this off by just like kind of going through this list here? And looking at things that we think will get hit in the balance pass.
There's no goddamn way we're closing this stream and not talking about Phoenix.
Oh, come on, man. Fine. All right.
Come on. That's what the people. It's the only thing we saw both sides of the card on.
Yeah, but I really thought I could sneak it away there. All right. Okay. So let me. So Nate has complete understanding of Phoenix because as soon as her card was spoiled, he stopped listening to the thing and had to catch up.
Yep.
And so I'm gonna try to explain to you what I think Phoenix does.
Okay.
And you will tell me when I get it wrong.
Yeah, so I think this is a character that's like hard to just like read the card, and it's better to have Vince summarize it, and I'll correct him and steer him where necessary.
Okay, so she's a transformed character that is kind of like Hulkbuster in that she has 2 healthy sides.
Yep.
And like that's it.
Yes.
So she's 6 threat, 4/4/5, 7 hit points on the front. She has a 6 dice builder with Wild Incinerate, an AoE 3 6 dice 6 cost spender with Wild Incinerate that heals allies instead of damaging them. She has a character throw and a terrain throw, but the character throws size 5, and the terrain throw size 4, which is just weird.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I guess they wanted to leave size 5 terrain as unthrowable largely.
Yeah.
There's of course Agents of Smash, which still breaks those rules.
Mm-hmm.
She can heal friendly characters 2 and remove a special condition, and she can use that on herself. So she, even though she's not immune to stagger, she's essentially immune to stagger.
If she has the 2 power and she makes 2 power turns, so it's likely.
Yeah, and she makes 2 power turn. She has the anti-Thanos tech, where she can pay 3 power when a friendly model within 3 is advanced, placed, pushed, and be like, no, you're not. And it covers all 3 things. It just doesn't cover being thrown.
Mm-hmm.
Finally, we have anti-Thanos tech just in time for Thanos meta. Very timely.
I mean, Shield Mine is still good. Having a better Shield Mine is still useful, but definitely, but past peak usefulness at this point.
All right. And then she has her Phoenix tokens mechanic.
Yep.
So whenever, and it changes from side to side. So on the front side, Phoenix tokens are like, Phoenix tokens, you gain them when friendly non-grunts are dazed or KO'd. You get a Phoenix token.
Yes.
Right. And then if you start any turn with 3 Phoenix tokens,
mm-hmm.
You flip, or you become the other Phoenix, the flip. Right. And so if like you run all your characters to the midline except for Jean, or you just run 3 characters to the midline, and then I kill that character, I kill that character, I kill that character, Jean dazes, essentially. But doesn't lose her activation. She flips to the other side instantly. And it doesn't even if you've already activated it. It's not the start of her turn, it's the start of any turn. She flips over.
Yeah, so like in general, getting Phoenix tokens is bad, right?
Yeah.
Like they kind of, I guess, represent her losing control of her power, losing control of the Phoenix Force. Having these tokens on you is not a good thing. Because like you said, all they do on this side is accelerate her flipping. And so her 7 health might just go, like she might just lose out the effective value of 7 health if 3 other people daze first.
Yeah. Okay. And then we flip to the backside.
Yes.
Right. Oh, also she gets 3 Phoenix tokens if she dazes.
Yes, which is bad.
Yes,
not
which is
good.
Bad. Okay. On the backside, the only way she has to make power is she gets a power for every Phoenix token that she has in the power phase.
Yeah, well, and like taking damage, she still gets power, but
taking
she has
damage and crisis effects. So like if she's holding cubes or whatever.
Yeah.
Or gets deadlined. Okay, so she has a 0 cost attack that's range 4, 6 dice. She can destroy terrain nearby to add that many dice to it, and it's not really nearby. It's range 4.
Yeah, that's big.
Right, and then she puts out these pillars of flame. If there are fewer than 2, she gets to put 1 out. There's size 1 terrain. And then she can also arc things through them. And then when
so
she
range
does
and line
the
of sight from her attacks come from the pillar. If you use the pillar, it also incinerates them and then kills the flame pillar.
Yeah, and the flame pillar, she can cast from them infinite range. So if she moves away from them, she can shoot through them. It's not like, doesn't Magneto have to be like within 3 of his constructs when he does that or something like that?
Something like that.
And then she has a beam 4, 8 dice, costs 6 power. And then if she fails to kill people with it, she loses Phoenix tokens.
And so an important note to jump ahead about this beam is that on this side, whenever she dazes or KOs an enemy character, which is grunt or non-grunt, she loses a token. So what this means is when you use this attack, if you kill them, you lose a token. If you fail to kill them, you still lose a token.
Yeah.
So you know how many tokens you're going to shed using this attack, which is important because you want to get rid of these tokens.
Yes. Because tokens outside of the power phase are straight up just bad.
Yep. We'll get to them. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're gonna get to them now because so during the power phase you get extra power. You lose a Phoenix token when Jean kills something, dazes or KOs it. Only when Jean does.
Yep.
And then you gain Phoenix tokens when allies are dazed or KO'd, just like before.
What's interesting about this is on the front side, allied non-grunts get you Phoenix tokens. On this side, allied grunts dying get you Phoenix tokens. I don't know if that's intentional or an oversight.
Seems very unintentional.
Yeah, I'm not stoked about that.
Don't bring Grunt's character
with her.
Yeah. Just in case. At least until we find out what's going on.
Yes.
Also, there's no cap to the number of Phoenix tokens you can have.
Yep, you can have infinite.
Other than the fact that if she ends her activation with 5, she dies.
Yeah. So that's the downside here, right? Is that if she has 5 and ends her turn, she is dead. There's nothing you can do. She does a big cool explosion on her way out that like wipes out terrain and it does damage to allies and enemies within 5 of her, right? So it does hit friendlies, and potentially a lot. And then she dies. So like accumulating tokens is a problem. The one thing we missed is that
I wanted to do it last.
Okay.
So lastly, she can, for 0 power, essentially reroll 3 dice, attacking or defending.
Yep.
When she does this, she gains a Phoenix token. So you can burn bright if you want, burn hot and fast, right? And just be like, yeah, I mean, I started this turn with the 4 Phoenix tokens. The Jean's dead. I don't care.
Yeah.
Right. And you can just like, make 2 really strong attacks. And reroll a whole bunch of things. Oh no, actually no, the superpower is once per turn. Never mind, I'm just lying.
Oh, that's only once per turn. Oh god.
Okay, so you can do it once and gain 1 Phoenix token. Ooh.
That's so much.
It probably changes how you use the power a little bit, to be honest.
100%, yeah. So I have concerns about this character. My concerns are that she has both sides of her card have ways to skip past her health and have her quote unquote daze, right? Flip to this side and then leave the table faster than normal. Mm-hmm. Which, I mean, I think that's thematically interesting, but like her turn when she flips is so awkward because she gets 3 tokens from flipping.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And like if she already had to, like she could flip with 5 tokens on her.
Oh wait, she gains 3 tokens? She doesn't go to 3 tokens?
No, yeah, when this character would be dazed, it gains 3 Phoenix tokens. So like if 2 allies die and then you daze her, she wakes up with 5. If she doesn't have the power to use her beam, she's just dead. On the spot.
Or she could kill somebody.
Or she could kill something. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. She has to kill something or use the beam, or the character is just gone immediately. That's spooky to me, right? Another thing that I find spooky about this is she's only immune to stun on the injured side and not on the front side.
Yeah, so stun legitimately really counters her hard.
Can put some real pressure on what her activation has to be when she wakes up. Like the gaining 3 tokens when she dazed, I think makes her flip turn very, awkward. She does, okay, so Vodka points out the Phoenix tokens getting you power helps the flip turn not suck.
Yeah, because yes, that's true. Well, I guess my bigger worry is that you stun her and then she gets 3 tokens from the other effects, and then she has nothing she can really do. But I guess she didn't gain 3 tokens from dazing that way. Okay. Yeah, so then she can guarantee beam. Okay, yeah, I guess that's not as bad.
Yeah, it still feels limited in that, like, what she'll have to do when she flips is kind of feels more scripted, right? Like, I think it'll be very obvious what she has to do just to hang out on the table for a bit, which is spooky to me.
it's also important that when she goes to the big side, or she goes to the unleashed side, she becomes a larger base. She's still placed or she's placed 1, right? Just like a normal transform.
No, within 2.
Oh, within 2, and then she goes to being a short mover.
Yeah, short move, 65 mil.
So I guess that should let you just kind of get whatever. And then her defense has become 4-5-3, which I think is a little weird, but I guess she's mentally unstable, so she's only 3% defense now. That still seems a little off to me, but
I also think, okay, let me think this through. Yeah, I think even worse than the 5 token turn is if you wake up with 4 tokens, right? So if she flips with 4 tokens and let's say was stunned, I get like the 4 tokens low on power seems really bad. Again, we're talking about like stun before damage, which exists on like 2 characters in the game, so it's like whatever.
3, but yeah. Well, 2 now, 3 soon.
Yeah, sure, yes. There's a like the builder automatically getting you a token is spooky to me.
Yes, I agree. And the fact that the beam costs 6, so like outside of playing her in Red Skull 1, there's really no way to like get her to double spender.
Yes, correct. And there's also concerns too, where like if she flips, your opponent has priority, kills 2 of your allies. That's 2 more tokens on her that she didn't get power from.
Mm-hmm. It is important though that if you daze her, she stops collecting tokens.
She does, yes, something. But I just like it's going to take a whole bunch of games to figure out, or like I'm clearly thinking about the worst case scenarios here. Mm-hmm. Right? Like this is like the disaster towns that I'm immediately jumping to. And maybe I'm being too pessimistic in a regular play. It's fine. But also, am I excited for a 6th threat that makes 8, 9 die attack? Like it depends how much terrain there is left. But
yes.
like
I mean if she can kill 2 4s, it's 2 10 die attacks.
Yeah, but are there gonna be 2 4s that late in the game?
I mean they're within 4 of her, and you got to place 2. Like
how many size 4s are on the given board?
Yeah, I don't know
total.
But I mean, there aren't that many characters that throw them, and
that's true. But the ones that do are pretty popular.
Yeah, well, I mean, destroying them might be worth it enough. I don't know. So, like, if the character can kind of like ride the line and constantly contribute, she seems really interesting, or she seems really strong. If that's a thing that if she's able to like not let the opponent go around her hit points.
Yeah.
She seems really strong that way. She has 17 hit points.
Yes.
Which I guess is technically light for a 6th threat. No, it's right in there, right?
It's right in there. It's a normal amount.
Because Gladiator's high at 18.
Yeah. And CGR
Hulks
16.
Are 20.
Okay. Hulks are 20. Yeah. So it's like a normal.
Yeah. I think like her biggest thing holding her back is that the power cap's a 10. Because I'm trying to think of if there's a way, because like Magneto doesn't let you do it, and if he did, she'd be pretty good at Magneto because she like breaks terrain all over the place on accident. Like this character activates and she gives 1 power to every character in her team.
Yeah.
I guess especially if it's Magneto and her, because the odds that you're got more than 4 characters on the table seems low. Yeah.
I mean, I think
she's really hard to wrap your head around. She's just got so much going on.
Yeah, she's like a very new type of design. She's not like any other 6th threat in the game, right? Nobody can say that she's derivative. They're trying something new here. And I do think she's interesting from the perspective of, let's assume you're playing a Storm team that's really good at getting an early lead going and then just wants to close the game out. who cares if she dies if you win that turn, right? Like if she's
Yeah.
just your option to just nuke some stuff before the game is over and seal, stop some activations from killing your people holding stuff and just go out big and bright and seal the game. Maybe that's good enough, right? And like I've been rethinking past thoughts I've had on model durability in this world that we have where games are a little bit faster, right? Like games just aren't going as long as they needed to, that like being squishy isn't as big of a problem as it used to be. Maybe that's okay. Maybe her death explosion that's fucking range 5 kills most of your team once she does, and you lose that way.
Yeah. So I'm okay. So the other thing that I'm a little bit nervous with this model is that being forced to open the turn with her when she isn't your best activation, like because let's say she activates with 5 and you're confident you can strip 1.
Yeah.
But like if you don't start with her, you're gonna lose a character and you're not confident you can strip 2.
Totally, yeah.
She's gonna walk beam and that's like her activation. So you're gonna be like forced to have like an unfortunate activation with her to guarantee that she can go next turn.
Yep.
But on the other side, I think if you're willing to first activate her when she flips, she's guaranteed to last the next turn too. Because she doesn't die until the end of her activation. So if she activates and isn't dead at the end of her activation, it's so likely she gets to activate again.
Yes. Yeah, because 10 health is a lot to chew through.
Yeah, but also like I don't know if I would put 10. I don't know if I would do the work when I could do the work on other models.
Yeah, you probably wouldn't. I think she just gets ignored a lot, and you just try to kill her with Phoenix tokens.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm interested to see what happens. I think she's okay. So like my first blush, if I had to call it now, I say she's bad.
Okay.
This character is not Hulk.
Yep, she is not Hulk.
But I think there's good odds that we are wrong and that she can actually do the thing that you're talking about, where she can be enough of a threat that it lets X-Men close the
game. Yeah. Oh, what do you think of her tactics card?
The one that like pushes everybody when she dies? Is that what it does?
Yeah, so I'll just read it if you don't have it. I am reborn, unaffiliated, reactive. When an allied Phoenix would be dazed, she may play this card. Push all characters, so friendlies and enemies, within 2 of Phoenix away short. Pushed characters gain the incinerate special condition.
I don't think it's worth a slot, but the card is good.
Yeah, I think that's kind of where I'm at too.
Because it also
especially because
only works
it fucks up allies.
Well, here's the other issue. It only works when Phoenix is dazed.
Yeah.
So only when dazed, not when KO'd. Right? And not like when transforms. Like if it was when, like, so if you go around, like, so if she loses control, she can't be reborn.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that.
That's what makes me think the card's not worth the slot at all.
Super bad. Yeah.
And also, like, well, what card are you cutting for this?
I mean, yeah, certainly it doesn't fit in the 5 but I didn't catch that if she is forced to transform, you don't get even a window to play it, which is rough because I think it seems like it's going to happen more often than she's going to get dazed. I think she'll be forced into Unleashed way more often than she actually gets dazed.
I'm a little bit curious about that because, like, she is squishy for her threat.
Yes.
Right? And it does seem like the easiest way to get rid of this character is to daze her as fast as possible and not stand your characters next to each other.
Okay, yeah.
So that she can't beam off like 3 of these things.
Yes.
Right? Because if you can, like, let's say, like, you really, like, bungle it and you lose her on 1 or 2, right? The odds that she makes it past turn 4 seem very low.
Totally.
Just, like, without us ever interacting with her again.
Yeah.
So I think she might get dazed pretty often, but I don't know. I need to see it on the table.
Yeah, she also does have some problems on her, I guess, leashed side, the normal side, where like she's not particularly long ranged, and has no mobility, because like she only has range 3 attacks, and her terrain throw is pick up within 2, so she kind of has to get the fuck up in there more than other characters of her type that tend to be range 4 and stuff.
It is, but she heals 2 every turn.
If she lives to get there, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's probably fine. I just like
and
I
if she can-
pictured
if she
she
can-
is blasting from the back, and she ain't doing that.
And if she can spend her, she'll kill another one because she's an allied character within range.
No, she won't. Because it's instead of suffering.
Oh, instead
one.
of suffering the damage, and you don't do it to yourself, right? Because they errated that out of the. Yeah.
Yep.
Duh.
Yeah, I mean it's probably fine, but I think it's the play pattern is just going to be weird on both sides. I think, and I think it's going to take a bunch of games. So she's not immediately busted. I don't think, and I don't think she's bad. I just don't.
Also,
know.
we didn't talk about the model, but I love Phoenix Unleashed.
Yeah.
Phoenix Normal, meh
Yes.
to blah.
Actively bad, I think, but yeah, I think.
Well,
that
I get a better shot of the face, but yeah.
Well, I think regular Phoenix shouldn't have the bird wings, right? I think just this costume totally makes sense. And I think having like the flames holding her up so she's floating around, very cool, right? I might even look just to see, can I not put the wings on her? Because I think going from just like the trickling flames at the bottom, some light flames, to then the big Phoenix behind her makes for a more dramatic change between the two sculpts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. But also, like, I guess, like, if that's how you feel, like, and some people don't feel the same as you, I guess we're glad they included them. If they're
I mean, more stuff on my sprue is always better than less.
All right.
And like, even if they're molded on there, it would not be hard to clip and green stuff her back to get. You know what I mean? Like, that's not a hard mod to make if I really don't like them. Okay.
For sure. All right.
You're off the hook, buddy. You're free from mutant talk.
I'm not that free. Do you want to talk at all about Gambit?
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about fucking Gambit. Do you have his card?
Not in front of me. No. I thought of
I'll talk about it while you're
digging it up. Yeah. Did you put it on MCPDB?
I haven't yet. I was going to do a whole big thing with this weekend.
Okay.
I just found it. I'll send it to you.
Yeah. All right.
So I think the Gambit change is fucking great. So they got rid of his adding dice ability. They changed his spender, so it costs 1 less and no longer has the wilds count double. They made kinetic ace energy instead of physical and took a die off of it. And all nerfs, straight nerfs across the board so far. And then the buffs are that his parting shot is now omnidirectional. And he counts wilds as double, attacking, defending, or dodging, which is sick, right? So that like really leans into him being a lucky character, right? It really leans into the unique thing he does, which is his wilds are cool, and makes all of his attacks kind of nuts, especially if you have rerolls, right? Like he is an incredible character to add some rerolls behind, which I think like in Apocalypse makes him very spooky.
Also, if you have extra dice.
Like death, one of the horsepowers he can take in Apocalypse.
Yeah. Extra dice are even better than rerolls.
Yes, but like that combination, he is a fucking great. He's great at death and he's great at famine. Like he's really good at both of his horse rolls, which is cool because I think when I was playing APOC, at least, the only death I really liked was Toad, and then famine had problems depending on different famine. Like they're both horse rolls where I didn't have favorites, and so having him be good at both of those, I think makes Apocalypse Squad building way more interesting.
Yeah, and being able to pay, I don't know, being able to most of the time pay a power for another success means that it just like refunds if you're kinetic acing. I don't know.
Yep.
I think it's a straight buff despite the dice reduction on kinetic ace.
Yep, totally.
I don't know if does he hit your X-Men squad, I guess is my question. Like the character seems good.
Yes, it's close. So initially I was like, definitely not. And then I thought about it more and I was like, well, maybe because so the main reason Angel made my squad in testing was because he could displace size 3, a problem I was struggling with.
Mhm.
Gambit can also displace size 3 quite well, right? It is hit or wild on his bow staff, move a size 3. So I think that's interesting. I think what probably keeps him out of my list is solely the fact that he's not a 50 millimeter base. And I really like having Beast and Angel as two 50 millimeters. But it's close. I think he's like borderline. I think he's really good if you're playing Xavier because of how good he uses rerolls and like he'll use a little something extra pretty often or enhance agility. Like he's going to use superpowers on both his turn and opponent's turns, and he really likes rerolls. I think he's possibly interesting under Cyclops.
Because
I
he also
just like
wants the power too.
yes, his beam is really good now. Like 3 cost for that beam is
Yeah,
pretty
3
fucking
cost of that
cheap.
beam is really good.
That's a great discount. So like I think he's a good model and I think he's good in probably 2 of the 3 leaders. Like he just doesn't make my specific Storm squad, but there's a lot of fucking X-Men in the game. They can't all fit. I don't think there's anything they would change about or should change about him to make him fit.
Okay, so I have a question for you, and I'm pretty sure the answer is no, but I want to ask it anyway.
Yeah.
Is there any world where he takes Beast's
Maybe.
Because like he kind of does a lot of the Beast things. Like
he does.
Because his displacement is so reliable.
Yes.
And a size higher than Beast's.
Yes.
I think there is an argument there if you want to keep Angel for the size 3, so you can play double size 3 displacement.
Yeah, so I think it's interesting. I don't think he does though, because the thing he's missing compared to Beast is the walk displace, right? Whereas like Angel has to use an action to displace, and I think that is really the big. Like it's close, but I think that's really the thing that edges Beast over him is just like how good walk displace pay to flip is, and Gambit can't do that.
Yeah. I agree with you. That makes sense to me. But I think a thing worth talking about.
Totally. I also want to talk about enhanced agility being omnidirectional is so fucking cool.
Yeah, it's really good.
Having played a bunch of Maverick, who has his I don't remember what it's called, but when you attack him with a physical, he gets to move. Yeah. Going any direction is so strong, and you can line up such cool shit where just like you walk back onto points, you walk into range to push people away with your bow staff, you walk to set up sick beams, right? Like just being able to, oh, you attack me, take a damage, I'm gonna come stand here and then beam your team twice. Is really cool. I just like it gives you so many more options to do cool big brain shit.
Yeah. Yeah, Parting Shot's an incredible ability, and Enhanced Agility is just a straight better version of it.
Yep.
I think it rules. And then in Professor X, like it being able to like pass power. Also, the new art on all 3 of the New Mutants rules, especially Cyclops. I think Cyclops' art is incredible. I think Gambit's new art is great. I think Rogue's is decent. She definitely looks better than the face on her model.
Yep. Yeah, they're really making Patrick Brown do a lot of time in the art mines. He's really just like his name is on everything now.
It is, and he's crushing.
He's crushing. No, he's great. I love it. I want him to do every character. Yeah, like just
absolutely.
Let him do them all.
My faction next. But yeah, okay. So now that we've got Gambit, do you want to talk about who we think is going to be buffed this year? I assume that everybody that's Q4 and earlier would be in the May patch, or do you think it would go to Q1 as well, 2026?
Well, let's see how long it takes us to get to Q4.
Okay, sounds good. So Blade, hell no. Ghost Rider, Okay,
I mean,
sorry.
Blade, Ghost Rider, Moon Knight, Voodoo, Star-Lord, Rocket, CGR Drax, Gamora, Groot, Ronan, and Nebula. We have already seen their cards for their repacks.
And they're not changed.
They are not changed.
Excellent. Great.
So let's save some time and cruise on down to Doctor Strange.
All right, cool. Doctor Strange, probably, but I don't want him to be.
I agree.
We don't need more healing in the game. His mechanic of activating models is more repeatable than most because of his built-in reroll.
Yep.
I don't want that model to be good. I don't know why I'm so okay with Ulik doing it and not okay with Strange doing it. And maybe it's just because I had a bad time getting a model activated three activations, or he got activated, 2 activations, dazed, and then activated.
Yeah.
And no, I think that model belongs in the hash on the trash heap. I hope they never buff him. F off. But almost certainly this model will get touched. I hope it's a massive redesign though.
Yeah, I mean, they don't seem to be fans of doing those, but I agree. I hope that's what's going on here.
And I think it'd be cool if they gave the leadership something, but I don't actually think it needs something. I think it needs to be attached to a good model.
I think it has one too many conditions on it, right? Just the like having to call your shot ahead of time and having to do damage is probably just one too many things.
If it pulls the damage requirement, okay.
Yeah, I think you could just do one less thing on there, and he would be better for it.
Or it not being once per turn. It is like too many things. All right. Daredevil. No way they're gonna touch Daredevil.
No. We also saw his card in the first slide.
Oh, you're right. Him and Kingpin. We saw their cards. Iron Fist. Probably not. I think he's okay. He just like needs the right meta to be playable. He needs us to be a miserable meta.
He's definitely one of those models where like they could give him a little buff and it wouldn't go amiss, and they could not change him at all, and it's also probably fine. So like
they could give him
how much time are they going to spend? Yeah, like they could match with Mystic or like one more health or better punch or something. Like his builder slightly better, but I generally think with you, like, yeah, he's fine. He does some unique stuff. He is a very meta-specific model. Maybe just leave him.
Wait, hang on. There are models. Where's Wong? Is it Wong in the Strange box?
I thought so.
Okay, well, sorry. All right, I guess.
Listen, they love to not post complete images.
You're right. My bad.
Wong is in the box. I just found the picture.
Okay. Prindle said I saw a pic of the new Iron Fist card, and it's exactly the same. Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I think I saw
cool.
that too.
Great. So I don't think they should anyway.
Yeah.
Hood. Should Hood be changed?
I don't think so.
Either. He's like obviously not strong, but again, it's like another healing model, and I want healing to be a lot of where the character's power is at.
I don't even think he, to me, feels like a character that just kind of is no one's favorite in the comics, so he gets forgotten about and is old and just like waiting for the right list to show up. But like, I don't know, if you play Shadowlands again, he still has a Mystic Rapid Fire gun, which no one else has. Both of his lightning spenders are really good. His DR2 thing is really good. Like, there's not much bad on his card. I think he's just like looking for the right list home or for people to remember him. Stuff like that. I wouldn't touch him.
I think he's also unintuitive to play because like when you should transform when you're damaged is really unclear.
Yes. There's definitely a skill curve to him.
And like playing Shadowlands makes it even more unclear.
Totally.
Bullseye. This would probably be a nerf, I assume.
I mean, he doesn't need a buff, right?
Like, he sure doesn't.
He's in the conversation for either the best or second best 2-threat in the game. Doesn't need a buff. I don't think he's like calling out for a nerf, right? Like I guess it kind of depends if they're going to nerf Toad. Like I think Toad, if you're going to nerf a 2-threat, you start with Toad. I don't like that he is the 2-threat that's both the best at secures and extracts. And like maybe his push. He's the only 2-threat with displacement until Spider-Ham.
Mhm.
But pre-Spider-Ham, only 2-threat with displacement of any kind, which is probably not necessary on the 2-threat that's also insane at extracts.
But
So I think they need to nerf Toad first, but maybe if they nerf Toad, they also bring Bullseye, because if you nerf Toad even a little, Bullseye's the undisputed king of twos.
yeah, I agree with you. So yeah,
Hey, maybe he will get compensation. They'll nerf something about him, but he'll get Gambit's enhanced. Like his parting shot will also become omnidirectional, like Gambit.
yeah, I don't think that changes how he works, unless like the thing that they change is they like reduce his range.
Sure.
Like if he goes to range 3, then giving him parting shot forward, I think would actually be something.
That's fair.
MODOK 1, I don't think they should touch. I think he's right on the line as he is. Maybe give him infinite rerolls back.
That one. That's all I want. Yeah, just give him as many rules as he wants to use, and it's fine. I don't think they will. I think they will leave him as is, but that's what I want.
Yeah. Angela, they should, but not without reworking her. They should make her power economy do something. Like it shouldn't be always make your attacks and make your throw that you have every turn.
I think just giving her a not god awful spender, like make Heaven's Wrath worth using, would go a long way on her.
Yeah. Or I would also be kind of interested in her. I think if her gun went to gainer instead of spender.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
She would actually compete with like the other 5 threat safe grabs.
Yeah, that's fair.
And like maybe that's where she needs to be, but I hate the current design of the model, but I don't want them just to give her a numbers buff.
I also, this is like a pet peeve thing more than a balancing. I think they should fix Angelic Assassin and Frenzy in the Carnage one to let you use the power from an attack to then use the ability, because so many players just get that one wrong, and it's an awkward conversation to have with someone who hasn't been explained this before, that I'd rather that just be intuitive.
Yeah, I agree, but they also shouldn't do it unless they do it to everybody, because it works the same on everyone right now, and it worked some people and not on others.
Yeah, I mean, it would be nice to hit all. I mean, hey, I see X23 on this list. We're most of the way there.
Yeah, I guess that could be her change. Heimdall, yes.
Definitely needs something.
Something, I don't know what. And like the new Asgard models are so cracked that like I don't know how you get Heimdall in the mix.
Yeah, like nothing about him is Asgard. Bad, right? Like he has the normal strike for a 3-threat. His spender is pretty good, IMO. His teleport is okay, but I don't think he needs to have a great teleport. His rerolls are like hard to use because of their cost, but fine. And then Forfend, I think, is actively good. So like no,
and Forfend is the most fun part of the card. Maybe make Forfend cost 1 less, and just like really.
Ooh, that's spooky, but
well, it costs 2 right now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, just make it cost 1. Why not?
Do any damage and it refunds itself?
Yeah. Why not? Make the character fun.
I mean, I agree Forfend's the best part of him. I kind of like, what if they just let Forfend let you use any attack?
I'm less into that.
Come on, a push medium after he bops you would be really funny. Just really Spider Foes the shit up.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't know. He needs something. It's hard to know what, because nothing on him is glaringly bad besides the rerolls being hard to pay for because you have to pay in chunks, but I don't think you can make that an X cost reasonably. Maybe they just do that, but
I mean, I think so much of him is like his superpowers are too hard to use, but if they reduce the cost of the superpowers, like him being an Asgardian breaks him as a character. And so he's just like locked into this thing. Like, I don't know, maybe just make his strike range 3 or something.
Oh, sure. Actually, that would be a big help.
Right. And then you could probably still leave Forfend at range 2, and then you just make it easier for him to get his power or whatever. Or maybe just put something on his strike.
Oh, sure. I actually think it'd be interesting to give him, it's not like thematically makes sense, but the like, you get a power if you whiff that Iron Man has.
Even if I never missed.
Oh, sure.
Not that there's room on his card to put "I never miss" on there, but that's the thing you could have, right? That seems on theme. All right. I guess we got to pick it up a little bit because it's already after 9 o'clock. And who knows what time it is in other parts of the world.
Probably later.
Yeah. Sorcerer Supreme, I think it's
No,
fine.
it's fine.
Yeah. Mordo definitely needs something.
Yep.
I've got no idea. I mean, maybe just make the boost not to damage you.
That's what I would do. It's so unintuitive how painful it is to do damage to yourself for 2 dice, right?
Mhm.
Like, so often you're coming out neutral in that exchange overall.
No, you're coming
I
out
think
down because you paid 2 power and you gave them a power and you both took the
sure,
same damage.
yeah, that
Right?
too.
Like unless you have significant rerolls on top of it, which his faction doesn't really. Like I guess they
Yep.
can flip to the bad side of the leadership and have rerolls. But yeah, I would also like to see there be a significant reason to do his like staff over bolts. Like you essentially always
sure.
do both.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. And like I don't know, maybe put a die on the staff.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're trying to kill something, use the staff into reins instead of bolts. And then even then, maybe bolts is better because of the wild hex. It's hard to know.
Yeah.
Without me running math.
But yeah,
anyway,
something on the staff would be nice for sure.
Yeah. Buff Mordo. Enchantress, yep. I actually think is fine. I think the problem with Enchantress is that her faction is bananas. is that everything's so good around her.
I think the only thing I would change on Enchantress is just she has like a very year one of Marvel spender. And that it's just not very good for what it does. And I think she's so good at making power and now not good at spending it since she has a bunch of once per turn stuff and the steals in action and whatever, that just like making the spender suck slightly less would go a long way. But that's the only thing she needs. And if they leave her alone, I'm not going to get mad.
Like, I kind of like that she's easily killed by throws, that like that's how you kill her.
Yeah, totally.
But like, I don't know, a superpower that you could pay power to use your mystic defense could be interesting.
I mean, where the fuck do you put that on this card,
yeah,
man?
Yeah, you're right. I actually think Enchantress is like fine. There's like other things in Asgard I would like touched.
Totally.
Namely Thor 2 again. Clea, absolutely. Rewrite the character from the ground up. What were you doing? This character
she just doesn't work.
Ancient One. Really cool character, really cool design, understated, needs something.
Yeah, I don't think she needs much.
Small.
Yeah, I think people overstate her problem. Like, I think even just a single physical defense would go so long with her having martial artist and rerolls and stuff. Mm-hmm. I also think they could go the strange route of letting her have skulls unlocked natively, because of like the Def 2 reroll 2 counting blanks is sometimes really good, and sometimes like a single skull really changes her survivability. Mm-hmm. So maybe just like she also unlocks skulls with the Eye of Agamotto would go a long way for her. Like, I don't think she needs much, but I would like to get her a little bit of love.
Yeah, I agree.
You also skipped Scourge, who I think is totally fine and needs no changes.
Yeah, Scourge, don't change him. Agent Venom, perfect. Don't change him.
No notes.
Amazing Spider-Man already been changed. He's in a good spot.
He's good enough. I don't think he's good, but I wouldn't buff him. It's fine.
Yeah, no, I think he is a role player. I think his problem is that Spectacular exists, not that he's bad.
It doesn't help him, but I also think he's kind of bad, but not in a way that need to fix.
Yeah. Spider-Woman, I am like somewhat conflicted on. I think she's probably fine. I hope the new synergies coming into the faction will bring her back into the fold.
Yeah.
But also, it's very likely to just completely edge her out, as you're just going to play the good models now that more good models are coming in.
I mean, I think she stands to gain a lot if the new leader. So they said there's a new leader coming for Web Warriors. If that's the other Miles, then I think she stands to gain a lot, right? Mm-hmm. Like, her Venom Blast gets a lot better when your leader doesn't also have Venom Blast.
I guess that's true. And then, because you still can play the double steal, and then... but you think they'll take the steal off Miles? I mean, I guess.
Maybe. Who fucking knows? Yeah.
Something else.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Black Cat, I actually think is fine. I don't think she needs nerfed.
No, I don't think so. I think she's perfect.
Cable, we're in Q4 now. Cable,
Yep.
they're not going to touch. Domino, I think is fine.
Yep. Yep.
Honey Badger, I think if Jubilee is a 2 threat that can play scenario,
Yeah.
I think there's no need to change Honey Badger. I think she's fine.
I mean, I think she's bad, but in a way that they don't care about. And like maybe this is just like heavy X-Men goggles, and she's fine in like X-Force. But like I even tried her in Servants a little bit, and she didn't seem to work there. The only thing I really want changed on her is similar to change. She's a god awful spender again. Like her spender is the same amount of dice as her builder.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't even get like a wild pierce or anything, you know? It's just the same. And I just like a little bit more gas on there so that when it's time for her to try to kill something, she's not god awful at it would go a long way. Because like you're not going to use that spender often anyways, because she really is there just to taunt, right? Like she is a taunt bot. You're going to save power for taunt. But like when she gets blown up on her flip turn, the fact that she goes from doing 2/5s to 2/5s fucking sucks.
Or like give it range so that she's like
sure, yeah.
so that she's like if she's not within 2, she goes from doing walking and doing 1/5 to doing 2/5s.
Yeah, she gambles on the elusive, gets a second 5 into you. Yeah, so anything to that fucking spender. It's so bad.
All right. Please don't give her healing factor 2.
No, God, no. Ugh.
Colossus, sorry, X-23. No, she doesn't need to change. Maybe if you want to fix the Angelic Assassin thing.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Colossus, what he really needs is a new model.
Yeah, I think he's fine. He's a specific need. Oh, so I meant rules wise.
Yeah, no, I think he's fine rules wise. He needs a different miniature. They need to put Colossus 2 so we can stop playing this one.
Yep.
I think he's fine.
He's a very specific niche, and it might be too niche. He's really, 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 really good at his one job. And if you need that, you play Colossus and he'll do it. And if you don't, well, then you don't play him. And maybe it's too niche and they have to try to like take away some of that to give him other things to do. I don't know.
And maybe it's just like, maybe it's hard because he's really good at stopping a model from dying and like being hard to take off a point or whatever.
Yes.
But I don't know if that's enough for a 4 threat is the problem.
Yeah, I think that might also be part of the problem is that just like what he's doing can be so replicated by fucking Luke Cage, right? Like if you ignore affiliations, a lot of what he does just kind of get out of Luke Cage for 1 threat less, and in some ways better because of how good Heroes for Hire is. So maybe he needs a little something. Maybe he's fine. I mean, I would like a reason to play him, and I currently don't play him. And like I tried him in Apocalypse for a little bit, and he was all right, but I think there's just better pestilences.
Yeah. All right. Magic. She needs buffed.
Yes, totally.
I kind of don't want her to be because New Mutants actually being full of good characters terrifies the hell out of me because that leadership is insane.
It is a very
good leadership. But yes, make Magic better in some way.
Yeah, she clearly needs love.
Bishop, fix the redesign the character, first of all. Second of all, I know you're not going to do that. So, 2, like I would just pull his punishment mechanic.
Yeah. It's just not needed.
Or give him an extra thing to dump his power, or move the punishment mechanic to the end of his activation. So if he camps the power willingly, he takes the damage.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Right? Instead of it just having only 4 hit points on his backside for some reason. No, like let it be a thing that you have agency in. Or if you just like spike your second attack and be like, sorry, buddy. Right? You did too good.
Yeah, I think end of activation would be more interesting, but I also just don't think it's interesting. And I wish maybe give him some benefit when it happens or whatever, right? Like it being all downside is so bizarre to me.
And he just like doesn't have interesting ways to spend his power. It's the throw, and that's like it.
The AoE is better than people give it credit for.
But like it often you're like choosing to walk to use it, right?
So like it's fine.
I mean, I just don't think it's very often better than 2 gunshots and a throw.
The fact that it pushes stuff is a big deal, and I've gotten good use out of it. But Yeah, I mean, he needs less of a downside or more interesting. Like he could just be more interesting. And I don't think it captures the theme of him like collecting energy and blasting it back. And I think the downside just isn't interesting. You know what I mean? Like why there's so few characters with downsides in this game. I wish they were more interesting on the table than this one.
All right. Nightcrawler needs a nerf. Moving on.
Nope, he's perfect. Fuck you.
Black Bolt is in a good spot.
Yep.
Medusa, I think, is in a good spot.
Yep.
Lockjaw, I don't want to see become good.
Yeah, I think he's fine. He has like kind of like Colossus. He has a hyper specific niche. If you want turn 1 teleports, you go with Lockjaw. If you don't want that, you pick someone else, and I think that's fine.
Crystal needs something. I think they should make one of her attacks move her.
That gets a little spooky.
Yeah, but like right now, she's a character that will never see play anywhere because her job is completely eaten by one of the other characters in the Inhumans roster.
I don't think that's necessarily true.
What does she do that can't be done by any of the other 3 threats in the faction?
She does a lot more just output by volume of dice than the other 3s.
Really? Then I think she's like really similar to Gorgon.
I guess I haven't like fully internalized the new 3s.
Yeah, and Gorgon has action compression, and she doesn't.
Well, she has action. She can walk and attack twice.
Yeah, you're right.
Is that action compression? Like, come on now.
You're right. I'm being silly.
And she has an incinerate beam. Like an incinerate beam's pretty gross.
Yeah, the beam is the best part of her. Maybe I'm wrong.
Like I wouldn't. It's kind of like an Iron Fist, where like I wouldn't be sad if she got a buff, but I don't think she needs one.
Okay. All right. I think let's just leave it there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a 2.5 hour stream.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Okay, guys. Hey, thanks so much for hanging out with us. Hey, first of all, don't forget to come to Squad Goals May 3rd and 4th. Get in our Discord. Find out if you can make friends or have friends, and then come play Marvel with us. It looks like the packet, the buffs and nerfs packet will probably hit right after Squad Goals. But if it releases on May 1st, boy, we're going to have some conversations to have. But it probably won't. So
I don't think it will. Yeah.
Come cap off the current meta we're in with us. You got anything else, Nate?
No, I think that covers it.
All right. I think with that, we've been a size 2 stream.